fighter who left Russia to seek fame and fortune and found both in Japan. The 26-year-old world flyweight champion has been adopted by the Japanese and even given a Japanese name, Epihara. Now he defends his title for the third time against Mexico's Ysaias Zamudio, a tough proposition. Zamudio is unbeaten in his last 15 fights. Yuri Arbachakov was one of a handful of boxers who left Russia after perestroika to try their luck in Japan. Arbachachov's reward? He's become the first professional world boxing champion to come out of Russia.
A good solid little performer, isn't he?
Oh yeah. Maybe the corner is saying don't punch yourself out against this fella, let just wear him down. You're winning the fight. Don't coast at all, but don't knock yourself out trying to do it. Because he's still dangerous, could you say. Oh, that's a good shot. He tried to stand in front of him, swap punches, and paid the penalty.
So, a world title for the young Siberian, who by now was achieving hero status amongst his Japanese fans. Arbachakov went on to successfully defend the title against the Korean Yunun Chin. It was a better performance than it seemed at the time because the Russian had fought for most of the fight with a badly damaged hand.
There it is, coming up now to the bell, and they're still throwing punches. They're a great world championship, this.
Then came the rematch with the champion Munchai Kittikasem of Thailand. Raging heat, it was over 100 degrees in the town north of Bangkok, and a hostile 30,000 crowd didn't deter Arbachakov. He stopped the Thai in the 9th. The challenger, Ysaias Zamudio, comes from Mexico, and most of his fights have been on his home territory. He's regarded essentially as a boxer, not a big hitter. This is his first world title challenge. So to the World Memorial Hall in Kobe, Japan. It's the WBC Flyweight Championship of the World, scheduled for 12 rounds. Let's join our regular commentary team of Jim Watt and, first of all, Reg Guttridge.
So there you are, the rundown then, and as Gary was saying there, the first challenge is known as the Z-Man in Los Angeles, where he fights quite a lot. He actually lives in California now. So Arbachakov then won all 15, 13 of them stopped, and third defense, and really adopted by the Japanese. He was the first of the sort of freedom fighters to come out of Russia and win a world championship. First of the modern Russians. There are Americans, actually, Louis Kid Kaplan and Benny Bass, who were born in Russia but won world titles many years ago in America. Good stylist, Arbachakov, very well taught, and he was also European amateur champion. And before he went on to win the World Amateur Championships back in '89. So schooled, and now got a little taste of the money coming in and doing quite well with the yen. Zamudio's fancied a little bit by these sort of aficionados of the fight game. I think he's going to give this fella a run. He's only 5'2", the challenger, but a very handy fighter indeed. Won 33 out of 37 and drawn 1. We've seen quite a lot of Arbachakov, Jim, on the World Championship boxing nights. He's always been good to watch, hasn't he?
Yeah, one of those fighters. I think he would have been champion in most eras. Good at everything. And I can't really see anybody who wants to trade with him taking the title from him, because he's very strong. But Zamudio, shifty, good boxer, good knowledge of the game. You have to give him a decent chance. Started slowly. Arbachakov, as you can see already, is going to be the stronger.
Age-wise, it's only a couple of years in it. Arbachakov's 2 years older at 26. First ever flyweight champion out of Japan was Yoshio Shirai. I saw him actually beat Dado Marino and lost to the great Argentine flyweight Pascual Perez. So anyway, they claim him now as their reigning champion, the Japanese, although he's still the Russian tag, although CIS officially now, of course. Keeps switching, Jim Zamudio, as I don't think he's going to confuse Arbachakov with that.
Goal is is going to be put under pressure, I would imagine, here for most of the time. Arbachakov likes to come forward, that's how he started. So Zamudio, I think, is just going to be shifting around a lot, so I think you'll probably see him switching to southpaw by accident half of the time.
World Boxing Council version, this one, of the 8-stone division. And if judges are needed, they come from Canada, Korea and Japan. No scoring here, of course, by the referee. Love the way he drops that right hand over Jim. We've seen him do that before.
He's a very correct boxer. Still looks, as you watch the way he moves in, you think it'd be easy to catch with the counters, but he's not.
Now there's the rundown with Arbachakov. Pretty good record, that, isn't it? You can't beat an unbeaten record in this business. Well, nicknamed Ebihara after a former champion, but apparently he's not too keen on being, he'd like to be his own name, thank you very much, I don't blame him. We might even claim him as a bit of a European, common market fighter almost. Second round then. First time Zamudio has been anywhere near the Japanese ring. He's fighting only in California and Mexico so far. Quite a big favourite with the American fans apparently in LA. He had a fair amateur record as well, Jim. 101 of 116 he won, Zamudio. It's a tremendous amount of fights.
Yeah, and that's a solid little right hand that he shoots out. He's moving back most of the time, but when he gets set to throw a punch, he gets his body weight forward. Another nice little right hand. Yeah, I quite fancy it myself. Reggie looks the part.
First time I mentioned his name, he lost a split verdict to Michael Carbajal, who's a professional world champion at the moment as an amateur, and he turned pro at 18. It was only a split, so that shows you how good he was at the time. And he would have boxed in the Olympics but for that decision.
He looks a lot more fluid than the champion. Arbachakov a little bit stiff and upright. Zamudio seems a lot more fluid, slipping, sliding, switch hitting.
Arbachakov, typical Russian-taught amateur, very well drilled, everything precise. Whereas you've got the sort of winging and prayer stuff coming in, professional stuff from Zamudio.
Well, he's showing he can back the. That's a healthy sign this early.
Shots there, Jim, and the body to head there.
Yeah, well, the good stuff, the imaginative stuff coming from the challenger in this round. See, Arbachakov, he's coming straight in, doesn't move his head a lot, just marches straight forward, usually relies a bit on his strength. But to this fella, I've no problem catching him cleanly.
This is a good performance for away from home. I can imagine had he done this in Los Angeles, looked better still in Mexico, Zamudio. He really would have fancied his chance. He must fancy it a bit now, the way it's going.
Well, I've got it 1 round apiece now, Reg. Good round for the challenger.
Let's have a look at this now, watching Zamudio's. There it is, Jim. Under and over.
Yeah, good variety. See, he's catching Arbachakov with his head too high and too stationary.
You can never tell by this fellow's face how it's going. He's the inscrutable Russian instead of Japanese. Third round. World Flyweight Championship in Kobe, Japan. Hope that's the corner man, Jim, and not the Mexican or Japanese commentators making a noise there. The thud of the gloves is loud enough. Good, keen championship contest, this.
Well, we've got two real quality boxers here, Roger. This, I don't know how long it's going to last, but I think it's going to be good all the way through.
Record shows really that Zamudio doesn't knock too many people over. 10 stoppages and 33 wins. They don't have many inspectors in the corners here, Jim, to keep the seconds a bit quiet, do they? They don't care. Well, the crowd there rising to Arbachakov. First success, really, he's had. Yeah, he's going to switch all the time, Zamudio, Jim. It makes it a little difficult to fight, especially when you're a correct type of boxer, type of man.
I don't think it helps Zamudio when he switches, because when he switches to southpaw, it's just a little flick he throws as a jab. He doesn't get power into it. I don't think it's a good idea. He should stay. He's thrown good shots from his orthodox stance. Arbachakov's just looking stronger. You would imagine that the longer the fight goes, the more he's going to take over.
Trying to do a bit of out-thinking each other as well, about punching, aren't they? Still using that chopping right-hand punch, Arbachakov.
See, everything he does is fairly straightforward, just marches forward with the straight punches, followed by the hooks. Nothing unusual.
Trainer there, Alexander Zimkin, who left the perestroika in Russia to look after this man. Round 4. Referee having an easy time of it. Just work the perimeter of the ring with these two. They've hardly done any clinching and all clean punches. Don't know whether Arbachakov's becoming a bit of a pin-up with the Japanese ladies. Jim, if you notice, there's a great deal of women in the audience. Maybe that's only because he's got himself on a wedding contract with a Japanese girl. There's a little bit of hesitancy with the champion, Jim, don't you think?
He's having trouble catching this fella cleanly. He just can't pin him down. Throwing good shots. He's managed a couple of clubbing right hands, but he's trying to be so precise, make sure the punch is going to land before he throws it. That's the way he does. I mean, some fighters don't mind throwing 4 and 5 punches to land a couple. Arbachakov's not like that, and he's just taking a little bit too long in this round to get the punches off.
Well, if Arbachakov gained his championship here, there's some other lively fights with the other champions. The WBO is the South African Jacob Lala, who we saw in Britain, and David Grimman of Venezuelan, and a Thailander with an unpronounceable name, really, is the IBF champion. So there's plenty of work around for him, and no doubt that will inspire him a little bit, get some more yen.
Arbachakov has not been landing too cleanly, but he's in charge of the action in this round. He's managing to keep Zamudio under control. Good, nice little right hand there.
He gets the accuracy, Jim. I've seen him, I should say, the Russian teams train, you know, for Olympics and Europeans, and they use a speed ball and they move it about a bit, and they're so accurate the way they punch that. And they're here now.
Yeah, well, he's shaking Zamudio here. I thought he was actually going to go, but it's the first time he's had to grab. He's usually found a way to get himself out of trouble, but not that time. He had to grab hold of the champion. Well, he's blazing back. Good on him.
Typical Mexican fighter, that, isn't it?
Well, grab and hold was a smart thing to do, and that's what he's done. He's cleared his head and back into the action again.
Well, he hasn't permitted himself a smile yet, despite having a good round there, Arbachakov. Jim?
That was a nice right hand, bang on the button, and that one had an effect. And shortly after this, another couple of punches went through. He managed to cover most of them, but he had to hold on.
Nicely built flyweight, isn't he? As Henry Cooper might say about him, he's a big, strong boy. But he's nicely, you know, muscled and just the right size. He probably does the 8-stone division, I think, fairly comfortably, the Russian. I don't know about Zamudio. He's a bit stocky, really. He's trying to cut down the ring size a bit now, Arbachakov, and succeeding. Yeah, he started to take a bit of charge now, Jim, hasn't he?
Yeah, Zamudio has slowed down a little bit. See, he's been under pressure, and it's difficult to work under constant pressure. A couple of times, Zamudio has tried to push Arbachakov back to give himself a break. He's managed that a couple of times, but mainly he's been pushed back, and he's the one working under pressure, so he's going to start running out of steam quicker, I would imagine. See, Arbachakov's so much stronger.
Get the impression Arbachakov's a more hurtful puncher, though, Jim. What do you think?
Yeah, he has the more power and the more physical strength. He's just beginning to look like the boss in there. Zamudio has all the smart moves, switch hitting, good combinations, but he's always on the defensive. And any close rounds that we see are going to sway the rounds Arbachakov's way.
Well, I think the interpretation of Savako-san to work for Zamudio, well, that's easier said than done, because this fellow Arbachakov, he's countering, he's so accurate, so straight.
Okay, this is a good battle, Reg. A couple of real good quality title fighters. And this little fella, he could probably beat one or two of the other champions. I don't know if he's got the strength to beat Arbachakov. It just seems he always has the last word in the exchanges.
It's amazing, Jim, we've gone this far, the referee hasn't said a word.
He always looks so much under control, Arbachakov, and that can demoralise an opponent. I mean, that was a good exchange of punches from Zamudio, but Arbachakov just didn't change the expression in the slightest.
So that's it. Right to the break, and we'll be right back. in the red and gold trunks there, defending against Zamudio, a Mexican from California. And the Japanese always rising now to their sort of a capture from Russia, as it turned out. Arbachakov and settled down in Japan. And as I said, certainly bringing the ladies out now to support him. Either that, Jim, or they don't trust sending the old man out on his own. I can't remember a fight, Jim, where the referee hasn't had any boxing signs, let alone the language. Obviously, he doesn't speak Japanese. It's such a clean contest, isn't it?
Yeah, hardly been a clinch. Both, when they get up close, both keep their hands to the front and get the punches flowing.
I don't think Arbachakov necessarily looking for a knockout here. I think he respects the fact that Zamudio can take a bit of a whack. But then again, I'm always fascinated by the way he leads with the left hand and drops the right hand over. And that was the way he smattered Kedikasem. Twice he fought the Thailander, the 8th and 9th rounds. Zamudio so confident at the start now, but not only is he showing respect, that little touch of fear must be coming out now by the 6th round, that he can't break down this fella's defence too much.
Yeah, well, it's always difficult when you can't seem to make an impression on your opponent. You don't mind so much being in a tough fight, but you like when you land your best shots that the fellow backs off and looks a little bit worried. But Arbachakov just looks the same all the way through. Nothing Zamudio has done has really made an impression. So I don't know how he feels about it, but I'd be getting a little bit worried by now.
Yeah, it's not fair, is it, Jim? I agree with you. At least it should grimace a little bit. These know they're boxing, though, Jim. If 1 or 2 clever moves come in, they politely applaud that. What happened there, Jim? Was this that as the referee went past?
Yeah, just a little bit of a stumble in the back top. I don't quite know what happened
there. In the replay now, Jim.
Well, that was a kind of quieter round. Arbachakov throwing a lot of single punches, but still looked in charge.
Well, he finds now that the commercial world's a little bit more better than the communistic one, isn't it? Arbachakov has become quite a wealthy champion, and good luck to him. He's done it the hard way. Yeah, just laying about in a good pull-up there called the Tokyo Hilton, so it's quite a bit from Siberia where he originally came from. And we're into the 7th round. Just got that champion's patience, really, Arbachakov, Jim, hasn't he? Still wants to land the proper punch and not waste them.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying earlier. He's very precise. He wants every punch to land. He doesn't like throwing 4 and 5 punches in the hope that a couple's going to land. But sometimes it makes him look a little bit one-paced, and he's dropped down a gear a little bit again. I'd like to see him move back up again and really go for Zamudio. Nice body shots here. You see, when the time comes to let the punches flow, he really looks the part of the champion. I
still like the look of Zamudio, though. You've got to feel a bit sorry for him. If he type of style and control here, Arbachakov. But been another champion, even say Matlala, the South African, I'd probably fancy Zamudio to beat him.
Yeah, but I think he's just picked the toughest of the bunch. But see, when he grits his teeth and makes his mind up, he can back Arbachakov off. He's got to do a little bit more of that in the second half of the fight here. He's been backing off too much himself, but this is good stuff. He must try to do more of this, get the champion on his back foot and get more power into his own punches.
Such an enjoyable contest, really. It's the inscrutable faces of all these ringsiders here. I mean, they're aficionados rather than fans.
Well, that's the first time I've seen Zamudio have the last word there. A nice little tough exchange, but Zamudio come out on top and started backing Arbachakov up. Arbachakov hanging on a little bit now. Yeah, promising signs here for the challenger. Oh, that put him in his place, that short right-hand counter.
Absolutely. They saw it at the back of the hall, but Zamudio didn't see it coming. Real textbook boxing stuff, actually, from Arbachakov. Too much of that today. Let's have another look in replay. The Zamudio's comeback here it was, Jim. Look.
Well, a lot of good work from Zamudio in that round. A close round, I would just maybe nick it towards the challenger.
Round 8. And Jim Watt and I have got the Russian come Japanese now, Arbachakov. Ahead, not too far really, Jim, 2 or 3 rounds I suppose.
Yeah, well, too many of the kind of quieter rounds have scored to Arbachakov, because he always looks as though he's the boss and he's leading off, doing a little bit more work. See, Zamudio has done much of this, backing off, not really working.
Good management, actually, Zamudio. Rafael Mendoza, a one-time journalist, and really knows the business. Lives in America, but handles a lot of Mexican fighters around the world. In fact, he brought in Pitalua, Jim, the gentleman you fought for the championship.
As well as everything else, Zamudio has a good chin, because that was a lovely little right hand he had to take, flush on the chin, didn't budge him.
This is a weight, of course, that at one time Britain was quite good at. Sid Smith in 1912. I actually met Sid Smith before he fell off the perch. Jimmy Wilde, Benny Lynch, of course, Border McGowan, Charlie Magri, and so on. So a Russian champion is more or less coming out of the blue there, Jim, especially at the flyweight division. The amount of work they must have done, these fellas in the gym and on the road work to keep in shape, to keep at this pace the whole time.
Yeah, because it's been a pace too, and Zamudio has been under pressure for most of it, but still looks as though he has plenty left. See, this is as good a fight as I've seen for a long time.
Makes a change for the sort of sudden blunder we've seen a lot lately, isn't it, with the championship fights?
See, this is a real hard round, and the champion is not dominating the round. Challenger maybe slightly under pressure, but given as good as he's getting. This might be the round that turns the fight, Reg. There's usually a round that just puts the fight one way or the other. And I think whoever can take advantage after this round is maybe going to go into it to win this thing, because this really is a tough slog of a round.
Oh dear, oh dear. Almost relieved the round's over for us, Jim. You know, you hold your breath when they're close quarters like that. But it needs a little bit of a warm-up in the massage gym. There we are, close up, bit too close for my liking, that one.
Yeah, that was a great round. That was a terrific round. Both standing on the ground, letting the punches go. Good, solid shots.
Coming up for the 9th round then. WBC Flyweight Championship of the World. And Yuri Arbachakov in red. Well, he's making a little bit of a tough job now, but he's closing the gap a bit against Zamudio, the Mexican who lives in California. First championship crack for Zamudio, and he's earned it the hard way.
Well, you can see why he's #1 contender, Reg. I mean, with the various world championships that we've got today in the game, this fella's good enough to hold most of them. I just feel he's maybe just a little bit short all the way around to beat Arbachakov. He really needs a couple of big rounds. Arbachakov again looking stronger.
Just to repeat then, if it goes the full 12, judges from Canada, Korea and Japan. Well, at last the referee's, well, he wants to go home with his shirt dusted anyway, to show his work, Jim.
Yeah, well, he hasn't had to do anything, and thankfully he hasn't got himself involved. We don't like referees to get themselves involved needlessly. And this has been a great battle, and he's just let the boxers go on with it.
Exactly, seen without being heard is a very good referee. Mind you, it's a good fight to handle, isn't it? I think any decent referee would love this one. An incident there, Jim, of wiping the gloves. It's going out the game just a bit now because there's hardly any rosin dust used around the world because different types of shoes that they're wearing now, or boxing boots as they're known.
Well, classic counters again from Zamudio. Yeah, I can see why he's #1 contender.
See, they're refusing to hold there, and it's incredible, really. At this stage of the fight, in time to sort of, quote, pinch a rest, unquote, as the traders would say. What a battle.
See, there's Zamudio pushing him back again.
Oh, well, out of order there, Yuri. It's a bit of a niet job there from the referee, I think, to the Russian. The world loves a try, Jim, and there's certainly, I don't like the look of Zamudio's, work here all the time. He might be closing the gap a bit, don't you think?
He's had a couple of good rounds, yeah. He doesn't seem quite as comfortable coming forward. He's having to reach and lunge a little bit now and again. He's not as controlled as Arbachakov.
So time for another break, but we'll be right back with the rest of the action for the fight. And I think it narrowed the gap quite a bit.
Yeah, I think Arbachakov is the one who's slowing down more noticeably, and he's been pushed back more often now. So I thought the fight would have gone the opposite way. I thought Zamudio's success would have come early, then the strength of Arbachakov would have taken over, but it's the other way. Zamudio getting more confident and getting better as the fight goes on.
Yeah, he must have heard you there, Jim, too. He's certainly piling in there, the challenger. With a considerable success.
See, Arbachakov is very stationary, he's very upright in his stance, he keeps his head still. And when the fight reaches this kind of stage, when he's maybe tiring a little bit, that's when you notice just how easy to hit the man is. He's retained a lot of his kind of amateur schooling from his amateur days, and when the fight reaches this kind of stage, you can just notice he's not difficult to hit at all. Those are kind of feeble punches coming from Arbachakov, as well as he backed off there, little punching jabs. I think he's really feeling the pace here.
Yeah, there's quite a turnaround. I can hardly believe what we're watching here, actually, because he was so the governor of their sandboxing for a long period there, Arbachakov. And now this little fellow, 5'2", actually, Zamudio, he's really piling it on well. In fact, it's his luck, I would think.
See, probably this type of fight suits the Mexican more. I mean, they're more used to the toe-to-toe, the slug matches. Whereas Arbachakov, he wants to stand off and box and control things from long range. It's been a tough battle for both of them, but at this stage, Zamudio coping better.
Cracking championship, though, Jim, isn't it?
Yeah, as I said, this is as good a fight as I've seen for a long time. Well, let's see who has the last word. Arbachakov just grit his teeth there. And he's the one pushing the other man back now. Good round for the challenger, I thought, Reg.
Yeah, I agree. It's really come on a bundle. Let's have a look at it in replay, see if it gets any worse for him, Jim.
Well, he started pushing Arbachakov back and a lot of success, and he has a better punch variety than the champ. And if he can continue to back him up, he could start tilting this fight in his favour.
So the terse orders in both corners there from the seconds, out for round 11. No knockdowns and no cuts at all, but a really fascinating flyweight fight, this. Good quality boxing, plenty of heart and entertainment really by Zamudio, and the copybook stuff chiefly by Arbachakov.
See, Arbachakov makes good use of his feet. He steps in and out well on his feet, whereas Zamudio can slip and slide and sway from the waist. Two totally different styles, but it's made for a real cracking contest.
You feel almost, Jim, that if either of them miss with a punch, they're entitled to a yellow card. I mean, they've been so good, haven't they?
Yeah, the accuracy from both men. With the high ratio of punches landed. But I mean, Arbachakov has been so much in top for such a turnaround, so suddenly you wonder maybe if he has a little problem with the weight. It just seems like a sudden turnaround. He started looking tired.
Maybe I was wrong early on by thinking that Arbachakov was a natural flyweight. Maybe he isn't. Maybe he has to work hard to get down to 8 stone. I must say the Mexican-American corner there are getting themselves very excited. They fancy their man, and with that, he just might get lucky.
Well, once again, he looks the more positive of the two. His punches, better quality punches from Zamudio. The champion just kind of prodding now with the punches, not a lot of snap in them, and even his legs looked tired as he backed off there.
You know, these judges are fence-sitting at all, Jim. You never can tell, I suppose. Maybe not the Japanese one. Well, maybe these last 2 rounds are going to give them a way out. Who knows?
Well, it's certainly tightening the points up, Reg. I mean, I had Arbachakov fairly well in front at the halfway stage. Big change in the action now. This little fella even more confident.
I wish I could say he looks worried, Arbachakov, but it hasn't altered the expression. First bell went. He might just permit himself a smile if he gets his hand raised. Let's have another look at that. Zamudio's attack, Jim.
Another good round for the champion. The better quality punching, the more strength in the 11th round as well.
So the final round then of the Flyweight Championship of the World in Kobe, Japan. So remember that the judges have handed in their cards after each round. So there's no chance of leaving one of them empty early on and then filling it in, because the supervisor from the WBC has to check them. I think that Arbachakov's are just about going to hang on to it, Jim, but maybe these last, what now, 2.5 minutes, who knows?
I still think he doesn't want to give the challenger another big round. He's had 2 good rounds, 10th and 11th. So Arbachakov must use every ounce of energy he has here to at least share the last round. I think he has a couple of rounds in hand. I think he's all right as far as the verdict goes, but he doesn't want to give away this last round.
He's complaining there's something wrong with the canvas, but probably wet on the canvas there. One of the cleanest contests you'll ever see, Jim, isn't it?
Yeah, this has been quality all the way through. I mean, I think we could stand a return of this fight, Reg. This has been a cracker.
Yeah, I could watch a replay, whoever gets this one.
Well, Arbachakov showing the typical champion stuff now, gritting his teeth and just pumping, putting the last bit of strength he has left into these punches.
What a good round as well. Real champion and challenger finish. He's going to clinch it now, Jim, with just 60 seconds and a bit to go.
Well, he seems to have regained a bit of his composure again, Arbachakov. Just the end is in sight. You can see the end of the tunnel, and he's just gritting his teeth and just pumping them out. As long as he doesn't lose the last round. I've got him a couple of rounds in hand anyway, but we'll have to wait and see what how the officials have been seeing it.
Smashing final round, though. And I thought by the 10th and 11th, Arbachakov was, well, just slipping a little bit, but he's pulled himself together for the last. And that's what good champions are all about. Bit of infighting from him, too. He hasn't been doing too much of that, the Russian. Good finish. He'll get it now. Great challenge by Zamudio. He can come back again. What a great finish. And I think they respect each other there. The touch of the tiny top gladiators, wasn't it there? They're so pleased it's over because they really had given all. So the gloves are off and just keep the palms sweating. Jim, the final replay there. Yeah, well, a great last round just to finish off a great contest, and Arbachakov managed to come back, and I think he's hung on to his title.
Yuri, Arbachakov.
Yes, he's won it okay. Each judge actually has given 2 points, so he's only won it by 2 rounds from Canada, Korea and Japan. So 16 not out. And the Mexicans, cornermen, are objecting to that. They're going to complain to the World Boxing Council, and they certainly deserve a replay. So with the little guys, back to the big guys with our latest collection of the big hitters.